Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a very, very special boot review today. Today is the Tekela version 4 in the first edition colorway. All right then, so jumping straight into it, I have this box. It is so nice to see a refresh from New Balance in this beautiful football boot that I think actually the silhouette of the last generation was actually pretty cool. It didn't fit my foot as well. You guys can go check out that review on my channel. It's the black ones that I got in, and they were a good pair of football boots. They were incredibly comfortable once you got them in, but the lockdown and the responsiveness was really poor in them, and I didn't find them to be a boot that I wanted to wear for longer extended periods of time unless I was just coaching in them or hanging out with guys out at the park and we were just pinging a ball around. It's nothing that I would hate on, but I also wasn't a huge fan of them. However, the photos that I've seen of these are super, super cool, and I'm really excited to try these on feet and actually get a sense of, have they fixed it? It sounds like, given the new Furon as well, the V7, which I'll also be reviewing, that video probably came out before this one did, so you probably saw that one as well. Both of them look incredible. I've seen pros wearing, I think Elliot on Liverpool wears these ones, the Tekelas, the version 4s, and they look amazing. And if they're responsive enough, are they going to be a great laceless option for people who want laceless football boots? And have they taken the mantle from a company like Adidas? It really sounds like, from the reviews that I've been hearing of people who have already tried them, that New Balance has really stepped up their game in the football boot arena and really has inserted themselves into now what is a top 4 because of how good these boots are. So without further ado, let's hop into the unboxing. So this is a special first edition box. This will not come with any of the other Tekelas other than this particular colorway, which is a black and gold. They call this one, this is actually, full disclosure, in the wide variation. So I'm reviewing both the wide variations, but they will be about the same for either the Furon or the Tekela. If you're somebody with a thinner foot, just go with the regular edition. If you're a wide-footed player, I'm gonna give you some insight onto whether or not these will be good options for you guys. So this is what the box looks like. You've got that first edition logoing here, and then there's your size in a 9 US per usual. All black on this one side. New Balance logo looks really nice and reflective there. And then on the bottom, it just gives you the SKU from the website that I ordered from. So no problem there. So let's get into the unboxing of these boots. I'm very excited to see what these look like. Great box, by the way. I really enjoy this matte black with the gold accents. All right, here we go. Little New Balance paperwork. Oh my days. Wow, okay, there you go. There are the New Balance Tekela version 4s. Holy moly. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That is the Tekela version 4. These are insane. That sole plate is wild looking. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but there's so many studs on the outside. I am curious. This upper feels amazing. It's got the hypo knit upper, which is this little logoing right there. So we'll get into that in just a sec. Take out the other one. Nothing else in the box, so we'll put it away. And there you go. Okay, so Tekela version 4 in the beautiful, you guys know I'm a black and silver, black and gold fan. I'm a huge fan of these. The gold sole plate with, of course, it's got the metallic finish is subject to wear, but the boot will still perform to the best of your abilities. My wife pointed this out, and I think this is excellent and great, like sort of banter, but also true from New Balance, is the boot will perform to the best of your abilities. It's the player who makes the boot, not the boot, okay? So here we go. So that is that boot here in the flesh. The upper, geez Louise. Okay. One thing that I'm noticing straight out of the box compared to this other one is to the version 3 that I reviewed as well. Look at that. That is so mega, mega soft. I am super impressed by this. So a couple tech specs about this boot we'll talk about as I'm showing you guys in the B cam. So this is a full foot stretch knit upper. which has not a ton of texturing. So there's a little bit of texturing in that inside of the, like the instep of the foot where you would pass the ball, and then a little bit of texturing on the outside right here. So you can kind of see it almost like a 3D texturing on the instep and on the lateral side of the boot. There's a laceless, so this is obviously a laceless football boot. It's a little bit thinner here, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna provide a good amount of closure so that once you get your foot in, and here's an example, right? So the stretch is actually pretty good. So you'll be able to get your foot in, I think, pretty easily. We'll see how they go on feet, of course, but once you get your foot in, these should be super, super snug. And the upper, I just can't get over how soft and pliable this upper is. I'm really hoping that doesn't hurt the lockdown of the boot, but that remains to be seen. So there's a nylon outsole. So this is a really lightweight nylon outsole with mostly, you see a lot of conical studs, and then they've got bladed studs on the outside that I think New Balance is gearing this towards lateral stability and push off. So they're giving it a little bit of extra bite in the forefoot area. For those of you who play on artificial grass most of the time, which is me and my team in where I'm playing right now, I'm not sure how this is gonna go with pivoting power. My assumption is that because they're on the outside and it's sort of in a circular pattern, as you can see here, sort of a circular pattern, the rotational movement this way actually won't probably be super crazy. You're not gonna get any hindrance in that rotational. So let me rephrase that. What I think is gonna be is this is just gonna be really great for lateral stability and lateral push off, and it's not gonna make much of a difference as far as pivoting power. So you're not gonna have issues on an artificial grass pitch as much as you might think, given how many of these little studs. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 of these studs that are more of a small bladed on the outside, which is a very interesting construction. I believe they did something similar on the previous generation as well. It seemed to be popular enough that they redid it, I guess. And I do think that is probably a good idea given how basic these conical studs here in the forefoot are. They've got a little bit more of a square or a chevron stud vibe back in this heel area, which is super nice. So you do get a little bit of that chevron stud, but I do think that these extra studs on the outside are gonna provide a little bit more bite for those of you who do want not just a conical stud football boot. I notice in wearing the 442, which is strictly conical studs, almost exactly in this pattern actually, they're a little bit larger, but I do miss out on a little bit of the bite that I do think is important in a high performance football boot, which is why the 442 never makes it into my game rotation. That's something to think about as well if you're somebody who is looking for a match boot or looking for a practice boot. It just depends on what you are looking for. I will say that the 442 is one of the most comfortable boots I've ever worn in my life. It is so lightweight and beautiful, so that boot is incredible. This boot is lightweight, it's got the hypoknit upper, and it's so soft. I am really looking forward to trying this on feet just because I think it's gonna be such an incredibly comfortable boot to wear. So that's something to think about as well. Other details about this boot that they've changed. This is the wide fit variation, but as you can see, they're really not chunky looking. They definitely don't look a ton wider than what I assume the normal fit boot is. You might get a little bit more width here in this area on the lateral side of the boot, but that's probably about as much width as extra width as you're gonna get. So that's something to think about as well. These ridges, I imagine here on the medial side of the foot are gonna be really nice for passing the ball. It'll give you a little bit of a more solid sensation so that when you pass the ball, it gives you a little bit more structure in that area of the foot, which is nice. And then of course, these ones, which I think are probably more aesthetic than anything else, they give you a little bit more texturing on the side of the foot, which may or may not help. I'm not actually sure, but that remains to be seen once we get these on feet. So this is the special first edition model. They have since come out with now another black colorway where this N, hopefully you can see that on camera, there you go. So this N right there that's with a little bit of a metallic finish to it, The N is in gold, so that's the non-first edition colorway. You can still find this beautiful first edition colorway in a couple sizes. I haven't actually looked. The New Balance website last I checked there was like a US 7 maybe. This is all in men's sizes, so obviously go plus 1.5 for women's sizes. If you're watching this and you're a women's player, go up obviously 1.5 sizes. So I think there was like a 7 and then everything above a 10.5 or 11 they had still on the New Balance site. You might be able to find this first edition on a soccer.com or a Unisport or a Pro Direct or something as well. I do prefer this colorway definitely over the other launch colorway that was not the first edition one, but the next, like the actual launch colorway. And then of course I've heard rumors about what the World Cup version is going to look like, which if the pictures are correct, they are really, really sick. So looking forward to those. The other thing that I think is such a cool touch with these is, hopefully you can see this on camera, but it is a matte black upper, but it's got gold specks in it. So you have the gold right here, and it almost looks like it's blowing, the little gold specks are blowing in the wind this way. So it's a beautiful, beautiful upper with such a nice like gold flaking in it, and it's similar to the black parts of the sole plate on the outside of the gold that also have this little gold speckled. I think that's such a cool touch. It makes the boots look really low key, but once you get up close, you're like, wow, this is such a cool colorway. For me, this is a dope colorway. So this for me is probably an 8 out of 10 for color. The silhouette is really nice, actually. I think the silhouette looks great. Remains to be said what this collar will look like on feet, but I assume it's gonna look pretty good based on the pictures I've seen of I think Harvey Elliott. I'm not a Liverpool guy, so I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I've gotten this wrong, but we'll say Harvey Elliott. Since he's been wearing this in this launch colorway, they actually look pretty decent on feet, even with a cut long sock. So with the sock sleeve and the calf socks, they look actually pretty good. So as far as the silhouette goes, I'm not a huge fan of higher cut boots, so I would say for me, these are like a 6 out of 10 as far as the silhouette goes. But if you were to take this away, that's where I think these just look so clean and beautiful. I'm not opposed to wearing a boot with a collar. It's just something that is a personal preference for me. I tend to prefer low cut boots. So that's my thing. If you do like high cut boots, these might be a fantastic option for you. So without further ado, let's hop into the on feet portion of the video, and we will discuss how these fit, how they stack up to other boots on the market, laceless, not laceless, get a feel of what the touch is like, and of course talk about sizing and everything else, and maybe recommend you guys to pick up a pair of these because these are very, very promising. So very excited for it. Let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here at the beautiful stadium with the Tekela V4 in the wide variation, the laceless model. So excited for it. I cannot wait to try these on feet. So we're just gonna hop right into it. What I'm gonna do is, because it's super warm outside right now, and the other camera that does the B-roll is usually overheating for some reason, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna film all of it. So it might not line up perfectly like it usually does, but it's gonna be, you'll get to see close-ups of trying these boots on and everything, so no problem there. All right, so here we go. Trying on the Tekela V. Okay, B's are everywhere as well. Love that for me. All right, here we go. I'm wearing a pair of non-grip socks right now. That is a choice that I'm making for the sake of my feet. So we'll see how it fits. Here we go. Oh my days. Wow. Okay, so a 9 US is actually really snug on me. My toe is like right up against the edge of the boot, as you guys can probably see from that up close shot. But wow, these are mega comfortable. Mega comfortable. Holy cow. Okay, so they've completely redone these. Like I am super impressed with how these feel on feet. Yeah, holy moly. Okay, let me get this other one on. They are pretty tight, I gotta admit. And that could be just like something that happens out of the box, but here we go. All right, so there are the Tekela V4. Oh my days. Guys, like this, okay, there's a B like on the lens. Oh, sugar. Well, whatever. We'll keep talking. All right, so point being, these are amazing boots, like straight out of the box. I am so impressed with how comfortable they are. The upper is so soft straight away, and I have 0 hot spot points. The width of the boots are perfectly adequate for what I need. And I would say the only thing is that if you don't like boots to come straight up to the edge of your toe, or your toe to come straight up to the edge of the boot, I would recommend going maybe a half a size up, maybe. But right now, holy moly, lockdown in the heel seems to be pretty good. Again, 1 month review will reveal sort of a little bit more of that, which obviously won't come for another month. Oh, another B, love that, okay. But either way, I am so impressed with how these fit and feel on feet. I have no slippage at all, moving back and forth, side to side, no slippage at all. It's a super sock-like sensation. Like, they really do feel like it's just a pair of socks on my feet. Touch on the ball, really, really impressive. Holy moly. Wow. Well, this is probably one of the better first impression videos I've ever done, and I genuinely mean that. These are so comfortable out of the box. They're so pliable. They just wrap your foot so perfectly, so snug. Holy moly, guys. Like, out of the box fit, if you're into a very snug sock-like sensation, these are probably, I'm going out on a limb here and saying these are probably one of the best shoes I've ever felt straight out of the box. And I mean that from how seamless they are, from the collar down through to the upper. The touch on the ball is so raw. It's actually really barefoot, even though it's a knit upper. Like, it's a pretty, not thick upper, but it's a pretty knitted upper. The sole plate feels really responsive and really nice, really natural on feet. As I mentioned before, with those bladed studs on the outside of the foot, I still have plenty of rotational stuff. So when I'm dribbling around, touch on the ball is great. I don't feel any pressure points at all. Super, super nice on the bottom of the foot with all the conical studs in the middle of the midfoot. And then obviously with a little more rectangular or bladed studs, chevron studs on the back and the heel area. Really lovely. But man, time will tell if these do stretch a little bit more and become a little bit looser, which I'd be kind of bummed about. Obviously that's probably going to happen, so I'm actually glad I went true to size. Again, as I said, I would go maybe a half a size up if you're somebody who wants a little bit of extra room in your boots. Because these are laceless though, I would recommend going true to size, simply because my foot fits right on the tip of it. Like, it's right there. Like, there's 0 extra room in this boot. Any smaller and they'd be too small, and any bigger and they'd be probably about a half a size or a quarter size too big, which I wouldn't want anyway. But yeah, man, these, I am for sure going to be wearing these in training at least, if not a game, because I'm so impressed with how these fit and feel straight out of the box. Like, I could jump into a session right now, no problem, and play easily. Like, they're that good. So, New Balance, you have absolutely stepped it up. I'm super impressed with the Tekela V4. These are the wide fit variations, so do keep in mind that if you do have a medium width foot to thinner foot, I would recommend going with the non-wide variation, just the regular fit. And if you go on the New Balance website, I've just checked actually between filming both parts of this video, I have checked, and they sell all of the colorways, at least in the US, for US market people. Go to the New Balance website and you can pick any of them out in a normal or a wide fit variation, and they have all the sizes. They only have a few sizes left of this colorway, but the colorway that came out right after it, which is the official launch colorway, not the first edition, like special edition one, the first edition launch colorway that just came out as well, that's also a black boot, is awesome as well. Great colorway, and that one is available in, I think, every single size. So if you live outside the US, definitely try Unisport or Soccer.com or excuse me, ProDirect or something like that. But I would recommend these boots for laceless. Like, if you want a boot that's not a speed boot, these are the best laceless boots on the market right now, other than the Speed Portal Pluses. And even then, I might say these are better because the collar gives you a little bit of extra lockdown so that your foot doesn't slip, even if that lace area does stretch a little bit. Wow, these are so mega. Guys, I'm like totally out of words. I don't know what to say about these. They're so comfortable. So again, keep in mind, because I do 1 month reviews, my initial impression might be different. I may come in at 1 month and be like, they overstretched and they're not that good and you shouldn't buy them. But for right now, out of the box, these are absolutely one of the most comfortable boots out of the box I've ever tried on my feet. And they are definitely a boot that I will be wearing in training for at least the first little bit. Updates obviously will come, but Tekela V4 seriously would recommend. And because they make a wide foot variation, like imagine this is a laceless Magista Obra 1. That's what it feels like, but even more soft, even more pliable out of the box with actually a pretty good amount of lockdown as well. So that's pretty cool. That kind of wraps up my video. There'll be a ton of B-roll over what I'm saying. So hope you guys enjoyed that little B-roll. If you guys are interested in buying a pair, again, as I've mentioned before, go to the New Balance website, go to soccer.com, ProDirect, Unisport, any other page that's nearby to you. I would recommend, if you're on the market for a laceless boot, if you want a laceless boot, you have to try these. Genuinely, you have to try these. They come in a wide fit, which is brilliant for us wide-footed players. They come in a regular fit, so that's great for everyone else involved. Seriously, New Balance, you have done something pretty special here. This is an excellent pair of football boots straight out of the box. We'll see how they fit after 1 month. I can't promise anything, but I am very hopeful for these. Really comfortable, no hot spots yet, and I've been sitting here for 10, 20 minutes already. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go train in these right now. So as always, guys, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.